they'll deal with the case according. It is not the magistrate judge, it's not the magistrate job or the job of a judge to go out and get the evidence and bring it. That's
why you've got a team. You've got the social workers, you've got the probation officers. You have a team. Who will do that? Otherwise the case isn't complete.
Yeah, see, but John.
Yeah.
You see, the fundamental error I think is making here, and you may not see it as an error because you hold strongly to your point, is that I am saying to you, one economic situation should not give you the right to interfere with something that is not yours.
I never said that. The man was right. Could they let him go ahead? No, I didn't say that. You know, but there's certain things that you deal with a certain way. You go to the hospital and you see a patient lying there, nail by mouth. That is a sign put on the bed. It means something is wrong with the gastrointestinal system that he cannot swallow. Good. He may get an intravenous feed or nasogastric feed. But nil by mouth, that doesn't mean let him starve. Nil by mouth don't mean let him starve. It means that you've got to find a route other than via swallowing to feed him. And what I'm saying here is that the guy who, because of poverty and maybe diminished responsibility, for all you know, his IQ may be very low, and he going to steal 2 mangoes to eat, not to sell and make money, to eat. It doesn't say, you're right, man, go and let him the earth of the Lord and the fullness thereof, so he can take them up. That is not what I'm saying. But you would deal with that person differently from one who goes and steals a bag full and carry them and sell them.
I disagree. I am disagreeing with you 100%, but I am saying to you, talk about poverty. Poverty should not be a prerequisite for crime. Because when poor, they does not have to commit crime. And that is a mistake we make, where we just try to justify crime by one social situation. Because of your poor, you committed a crime. I
hope, George, that you are not thinking that I am saying that poverty is... Wait a minute, let me make it. You can't say, no, you know what I'm about to say, yeah? I am not saying that poverty is an excuse for stealing. I am saying that poverty is definitely a reason why people steal. And it is not an excuse. Right. It's a reason.
And just because you steal because of that reason, it does not say that you should not feel the brunt of the law. You should not be punished for it. You should feel the consequences of it. And I'm saying for you,
I think what should be done is that you should be given something and sent to welfare for a voucher.
Excuse me?
Yes, and the social worker or probation officer will then deal with you as to the penalty that this can incur. That is done. They will the magistrate. The social worker will sit and counsel you. But at the same time, to stop you from stealing again, you should be given some sort of a voucher to get something to eat. And you will be counseled. You don't just get that and go along, because the person will soon come to the conclusion, well, all I got to do is to go to social work and say, I want a voucher, I got more money. But you talk to them about the dangers of stealing. You could have lost your life. The man could have shot you. The dog could have torn you to bits. Those things the social worker and the probation officer will sit with you in a counseling session and teach you. But at the same time, you would be given something. Not say send him up to jail. He going to steal the man and right here. 6 months in jail. And according to you, with hard way.
Yes, you should get it after you examine. You see, let's face it here. I think we're going around in circles, because I think there are certain things that we agree on. We should first examine the situation that get the person there in the crowd. I think what we disagree on is the level of the person's situation. We agree that a person's situation, but I am saying to you, John, it does not matter how hard or how grim your situation is.
Yeah.
There should not be a reason for you to be interfering with somebody else's property or going into somebody else's property.
But that is why the social worker and the probation officer will sit you down and counsel you on those matters. Because with diminished responsibility and probably a very low IQ, this is the first time that somebody thought you were important enough to discuss that with you. That must be the first time, and it happened because you went and stole. No wonder that the girl said, if I had not committed an offense, I wouldn't know my potential.
Yes, well, but you see, you mentioned the word stole. In fact, of the matter, you steal something, and you
but you don't even know it's stealing. You don't know that people of that ilk may not even know it is stealing. They just think that,
if the person didn't have the capacity, the understanding to know that it's stealing, well, such a person, mentally something is wrong.
Well, of course something is wrong.
Right, but I'm not talking about such a person. I am talking about...
What I am saying is this, remember, George, it was you who told me that the magistrate in your particular situation, you brought the example, otherwise I would not have been on that, did not even use the route of a probation officer to investigate anything. The man stole, 6 months in jail. It is on that premise that I am speaking. Because if it happened once, in a big place like Trinidad, it must have happened again. Or elsewhere, other than that one case.
I am saying to you, once you know that you steal something, it doesn't matter how grim your economic situation was or how poor you is, you should not do it. You should not be using that as an excuse. But let's separate. I'm
not even saying that it's justifiable. I am saying that you have to use discretion sometimes. And that is why I pointed out to you that if I went down the streets of Bridgetown and urinated by a utility pole, the police can arrest me for indecent exposure. But if I am an Alzheimer patient, he can't do that. Why didn't even know what to do?
Yes, John, we agreed on that. I think we agreed on it because I just mentioned to you, if someone walk into your yard and take up some oranges or some mango, and they do not even realize that they are stealing. That's a job for the social services.
All right, but
that's a situation for the... No, see, the situation the magistrate I outlined is not that the woman did not know where she left her child and what she done, but there were circumstances involved what the magistrate did not know about and should have been investigated before sentencing this individual.
Exactly.
And from all reports coming out, it would look as though the magistrate did not investigate the circumstances of this individual thoroughly enough before passing sentence.
Exactly, and if he had, he might not have passed a sentence, not a custodial sentence or a fine. He might have done a CRD.
Yes, and I agree with, but you can't take that one case in isolation and say this is how every case has been.
I never thought it did, but I'm saying that if you can point out that one, it cannot be the only one in Trinidad.
No, I don't think it's the only one. Not just in Trinidad alone. In many places elsewhere, it will have it. But I'm saying to you, John.
Yeah.
We too quick to put what you might call a justification on crime.
As quick as those who are ready to punish. Ready to punish.
We create a situation where we put them there to punish. That is their job. That is their duty to punish. That is what they're there for. They're not there to deal with. I'm sure you heard, talk about how judges are supposed to be sober and all of that. You see, when you sit in such a position of authority, emotion, you can't. They are trained to not let the emotions get the better of you. John Kilman come before Leon.
Yeah.
For committing a crime. It is not my duty to look at your economic circumstances, you committed this crime that you have no right to commit it. Okay, you can't come with the excuse that you have lost about 6 months now and you didn't know what else to do. The fact of the matter, you have broken and entered. And the penalty for breaking and entering is a 6 months or 7 months in jail, and I have to apply it. Where I have the authority to use my discretion in the matter, I will do it and look at it. But there are circumstances where I don't have a discretion. I have to apply the law as it is written.
But hold on a minute. Do you know that?
Do you know
that the astute judge or magistrate, he raised the charge to you, John X, you are here charged for entering the home of so and so without permission. Guilty or not guilty? Well, all right, I entered the house. Guilty, sir. He don't go around and say, okay, fine business, 6 months in jail. Do you have anything to say? Then I would say to him, I was drinking, and in a sort of semi-intoxicated manner, the house looked so much like mine. And in that state, I really thought it was my place, and I just went in. No, he has to look at that and find out, now, is this justification that I can give him a CRD, warn him about the dangers of drinking, show him what can happen, and ask him to be more careful in future? Or do I give him 6 months and tell him drinking does not give you an excuse to do anything like that? Boom, and thing. Discretion, it doesn't mean that you are upholding him, because you're going to let him know the misdemeanor that he's committed. But in the lenience of the court, due to the circumstances, you're looking to see if there's this first offense and a whole number of things. As the magistrate, I will not deprive you of your working conditions, but I will tell you, make sure you don't come before me again for anything like this in a given time. And if you do, then you get the whole brunt of the law. But that is how an astute judge would do it. But you're not there waiting for some victim to come before you, and because of your authority, 6 months in jail. Next case. You don't do that.
You can't say you don't do that. If they don't have I pointed to you, there are certain circumstances where you may have discretion. But if you're dealing with a situation where you do not have discretion and you have to apply the law as it's written, you then have to do it. You can't let your emotions get the better of you. After you go home, you can discuss it. Or probably. You understand? But let me say something. I think we having some technical problems. I see how we didn't get calls coming, but what we need to do here this time is to go for a break and then come back and unwind up.
Okay. The calls, you're not getting any calls? Oh, I see.
Yeah, so we go for a break and then come back.
Okay.
Tell it as it is, with your hosts, Leon George and Leary McRae. Real talk, real issues.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to Tell It Like It Is on the #1 internet station around CCV Radio. And tonight we're discussing crime and prison reform. Unfortunately, that we couldn't get your participation in the program tonight. We could not even get to read the emails that we would have coming in and so on with. But if possible, we'll probably consider to have a repeat of this program so that we could have your indulgence, and because we would even like to read the emails that we had coming in. So we want to apologize for that. So I would like John to make some closing remarks, and then we'll wind up.
Okay. Let me say a very good evening to all our listeners, and we certainly enjoyed bringing this to you, and we hope that next week, if time is on our side, that you will be able to come in and participate. Remember the points that you might have made this week and come with them next week. Anyhow, I would like to say, for my parting shot for this week, that when our brothers and sisters, for whatever reason, commit felonies and have to be imprisoned, when they have spent the time given them, we as a society need to give them that chance to prove themselves rather than being hostile to them, constantly reminding them, you are a spotted leopard. We don't plant a seed and dig it up every morning to see if it's growing. We put it in the soil and leave it there until it springs. In like manner, those people would have spent the time given to them by a court, and they are coming out feeling guilty, feeling embarrassed because they had to be imprisoned. Don't let us give them a second jail sentence when they have served that time. Let us be more considerate, a little more sensitive, and above all, let us remember the golden rule. Do unto others the things you would want them to do to you. John, Barbados.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, John. Well, first I'd like to say we want to thank all of you who have taken the time to tune in to us tonight and listen to us every Monday faithfully. We really appreciate, and we want to apologize one more time that we could not have your indulgence in the program tonight. We hope to have this situation corrected for next program, next week, Monday the 23rd. Now, we have discussed this discussion. We have this discussion here tonight, and we agreed on one. We more agreed than we disagree. I know there were times we were passionate about this topic. Where I and John part with is on the return from prison. After one return from committing serving a sentence, John is saying that we ought to give such a person a chance to prove themselves. And yes, we're supposed to give them a chance to prove themselves. But I think they first will have to prove themselves before we give them a chance. We do not know that that person has totally been reformed, and it is normal, and we think we have every right to view this person with a bit of suspicion. They have committed a crime and they went to prison. Yes, they had paid for the crime. But we have no information and no knowledge about how this person would have been reformed. And it is normal for society to have viewed them in a particular light. And we often blame society for not giving a person a chance, a second chance. I think it's incumbent on the person to prove themselves. And whatever program they would have participated in prison should prepare them for the kind of society that they are going to now go out into. Yes, it sounds harsh. Yes, it sounds brutal. But people have the right to be cautious. People have the right to be suspicious. Because too many individual return to prison for the same crime over and over again, and that's an undeniable fact. So therefore, one have every right to be suspicious of a person when they comes out of prison, and to be cautious of that person. The person would have every opportunity to prove themselves, because there are lots of individuals like that who have society change their views about them. And I think we definitely are being harsh on our own selves when we criticize our fellow men, or criticize our individuals for condemning a person. That is part of the consequences when you come out of prison, when you have made that choice to commit a crime. In most cases, that's a choice you make. And you can find excuse for doing that, your circumstances and all of that. But the fact of the matter is, you made the choice. And I don't believe in anything that you have no choice. You didn't have a choice. You always have choices. And whatever choice you made, prepare for the consequences of that choice. So, this is Leon George, saying farewell until next week. And tune in again on the #1 station, internet radio station, for Tell It Like It Is. Thank you very much for listening tonight.